So your online visibility, why does online visibility now matter so much? Why is it becoming so much more important, right, for fundraising? There's a lot of ways you can raise funds. I'm sure a lot of organizations still may get checks or stock donations, or they may have estate giving and estate planning, and they may have a lot of people in older generations too doing giving. But as things, new generations come on, and millennials are driving changes, and a lot of things are changing with giving, right? Online giving, especially online giving, is changing. So you want to be ready for that. And visibility, how you show up online and what you do online, has a big impact on your ability to raise funds online. So, more giving is shifting to online. And a broader shift in giving is that people, especially millennials, are interested in specific causes, not
Mm,
necessarily specific organizations. They may not know a lot of their local nonprofits, but they tend to be very passionate about an organization's cause or mission. And so they may be very passionate about animals. They want to help animals, or housing, or food,
mhm,
instability, or things like that. And we've also seen a shift that gifts are tending, especially online, tending to get gifts are shifting to be online. They're tending to be a little bit smaller, but hopefully more of them. The next generations, the millennials, are very generous with their money, and they tend to be
mhm,
very heavily informed, and they tend to use online as a way to vet and research things. And a lot of giving now may not even be cash, and there may be different ways of structuring that give. There's things like memberships and sustaining giving and these monthly givings, and you're seeing a lot of things change as online technology for giving really advances. So you want to make sure you're ready for these shifts. And a big part of that is visibility, how you show up online. So we're going to kind of kick off this by talking about that and laying the framework for our discussion about how you effectively raise money online. So major components to your online visibility is, I break it down into these three, which is search, social, and PR. So search being, can people find you online in Google, in YouTube, or Bing, or any kind of search scenario, search engine? Are people able to find you? Is your online website and other properties like your email and your social, are those set up for SEO? Are you making sure your website works well mobile? Is it fast? Is it well made? Are you putting content on it frequently? Is that being updated? All of those things really affect search online. Can you be found online? So that's a
mhm,
very important part of visibility. And also is social. On social, are you being shared? Are you engaging in that conversation in social? And the different channels and social platforms, they vary a lot per organization. Your organization may be, for instance, heavily into LinkedIn if you deal with job training, job search. Probably not LinkedIn if you deal with food scarcity. So it does vary. But are you in that social conversation where talk is happening about your cause and where your benefactors are, or where your donors are? And social now is, of course, much more noisy than it used to be. So you have to do much more to stand out. Social is becoming harder and harder. But if your audience is there, you want to be there engaged in the conversation. And PR is another component of online visibility. Are other groups talking about you? Are the things that great things are you doing that are newsworthy? Are those getting out there, right? Is there
mhm,
buzz about it? Are you leveraging the press online? Are you leveraging partnerships online with your other, you know, um, organizations that deal with similar things that you may be partnered with? Are you, sharing each other's information? So sort of the PR aspect. So those are kind of the three big buckets we have for the online visibility, the search, the social, and the PR. And what this can do for you, a big thing that online visibility can help with is expanding your donor base, right? People who may not know you at all. So people could find you potentially organically, right? Showing up in that search, or they may see something about social, or maybe a partner organization that they already give to. They find out about you through that. So your online activity is really important, and your online content, right? If
mhm,
you're trying to attract a new donor, they may kind of be vetting you by your online activity. And this is especially actually really kind of important now, as all the offline activities, right, have really been restricted for a while now because of COVID. And
Mhm.
those things will come back, in-person things will come back, but that may be a little while. And it may be, certain groups may be uncomfortable going back to into non-online activity. So that's the online stuff is still going to be important. It's always important, but especially during COVID, and it
Mhm.
will keep becoming important. So you can use online as a really great way to showcase your impact, reinforce the legitimacy sort of your overall cause. Right? There's a real need for what you're doing out there. This is what you're doing. This is how you're contributing. All of those things are a really great thing to showcase online. And then there's a lot of opportunities with easy engagement and connection, right? Whether it's signing up for a newsletter, looking at maybe a piece of premium content like a case study about your cause or a PDF or something. All of those things, there's opportunities for connection and transparency, and really to those younger generations and millennials and other people who really use online heavily, having all that online will
Mhm.
really help to help expand the donor base, right? And engage your current donors, of course, and
Mhm.
and have them hopefully continue to donate, maybe even donate more over the years. So the main hub, of course, of your online activity and your online visibility, sort of the main hub, of course, is your website. And you'll probably have social and email and newsletters and all sorts of other things, but usually they all drive back to your website, right? Where your main hub of activity and information is. So we're going to talk a little bit now about some key things
Mhm.
to help set up your website to really contribute to your online revenue generation, right? So we like to create online websites and content with what we call audience first. Audience first means you really know who your audience is, and you utilize persona based communication, meaning you've crafted a sort of a persona, an idea of who this ideal donor may be. And there may be different types. You may have several personas, and you're really communicating in the language that speaks to them, that can help drive action. Another thing with your website and your online content is storytelling really helps drive action. Especially, when you're looking at significant giving, having that emotional connection, showing those stories and using that helps people push people over the edge and maybe become a donor. So the website's a great way to engage. Use it as really an engagement tool, and have a lot of ways to engage, have a lot of actions, of course, not just
Mhm.
one. The big action we're talking about today, of course, is donations, is fundraising, is revenue. But
Mhm.
um, people probably aren't going to jump right from, oh, I don't know who you are. Your website's great. I'm going to click that donate button and give you,
Mhm.
$1,000. That's a big jump, of course. So having many ways to engage, many actions. So, sign up, download some PDFs about with critical information, or sign up for a newsletter, or see an upcoming calendar of events, sign up for a webinar or a virtual event, or all sorts of different types of things.
Mhm.
Have a lot of action, because um, the website may be a major contributing factor to a donation, at some point in time. So if you use it to engage these people and keep them, keep in front of them, that can help with donations. And don't forget about sort of all the other channels. Like your website's the main hub, like we said, but there's a lot of other channels. And your strategy for engaging online, engaging donors, and attracting new donors and new people to your cause, that is going to be different probably for different channels. I gave a little bit of that kind of LinkedIn example. I do work with a lot of nonprofits that have to do with job search and training and things like that, and LinkedIn's a big channel for them. That's, it's part of the
Mhm.
the job search many times for people. So the strategy for your website and your Facebook and your LinkedIn, though, and your Twitter, they're going to be a little bit different. So a unique persona and strategy and all of that per channel will make each channel work, the best for you. And the great thing about all this online stuff, right, whether it's Facebook or your website, is you can get a lot of data about what's happening. You can see, how many people are liking things or viewing posts, or how many people are clicking links, and all these metrics
Mhm.
are available. So leverage those for sure. Leverage those to see how things are working. If a specific post got,
Mhm.
a lot more traction, and you got some donations from it and others didn't, use that intelligence to
Mhm.
craft what you do in the different channels to make them the most effective. And also, don't forget about third party systems and ads too, of course. And nonprofits sometimes um, don't really think about advertising the same way as for profits, right? Because you may
Mhm.
not be selling a widget, or you may not be competing with, companies A, B, and C
Mhm.
for the same sort of business, right? But the Google Ad Grant program, lets you do free ads. I mean, it's just free money sitting out
Mhm.
there, and you can definitely utilize that, and it's not gonna. You'll have to manage it, of course, but the actual ads, don't cost anything, so you might as
Mhm.
well take advantage. And of course, your email, if you have a CRM, if you use a landing page systems, maybe to create landing
Mhm.
pages, if you have a donation platform, any really third party system, don't forget about those.
Mhm.
Because if as people go through your online systems, and maybe they click a link on your Facebook and they go to your website, and maybe they're curious about the donation options and they click that experience of going to those different platforms should be good for the end user. So you want to make sure that your branding and your communication and the content you're using on those other third party systems too is all well crafted,
Mhm.
so it's sort of a unified experience, right? I'm going to switch the poll here quick. We've got, I think, 4 or 5 polls, so thanks for answering those. That really helps sort of steer the conversation.